Bro, I don't know what the fuck is happening right now to this stream. OBS crashed on me again, bro. Like, I don't know why it keeps doing this. I probably have to see if, like, I don't know, the fucking shit is not is updated or whatever. I don't know why it's doing this, dude. That's really annoying. Huh. Hello? Why, Meek? Why? I'm not doing it on purpose, bro. I don't know. My fucking OBS crashed again. Absolutely wild, bro. Yeah, it just, my fucking OBS keeps crashing. Like, I came back to it again and it was like, nah, I'm done, bro. I'm out. I'm done. I'm broke. I'm damaged. I can't work. So I have no idea why it's fucking doing that. Sugarfoot got him. That's not a thing. I don't know. Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm not hurt. I guess that's what happens when I fucking talk about the fucking Ironheart, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, I have perfect signal and it'll just die flat. That's weird. That's kind of annoying. Anyways, I got about half an hour before we got to go anyway. So, yeah. It's probably Disney Marvel. They've caught me. Mike didn't want to read the OBS super chat, so his OBS didn't really want to read the super chat, so his OBS is crashing. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. In fact, I can read, the horror host for 2 says it's shiny because it's polished by his butt cheeks. That's not a thing. I don't polish my coin with my butt cheeks. Epic Mike's channel's under attack. That's crazy. It's gonna keep you from Mario Kart? No, it shouldn't. I don't know. That's like all my internet shit's working right now, so I don't know why it keeps fucking doing that. I don't know. That's annoying. I'll probably just private these streams afterwards or something. Anyways. Razor Hammond, thank you for the follow. I would say he took my gifties and ran, but he only got 1 foot, so he probably hopped. That's crazy, bro. The coin is flagging the stream. We're definitely back now. Pretty wild that keeps crashing the streams to garner sympathy. Why would I do that? That doesn't even make any sense. It's also not updating, so maybe Restream's having a problem because it's also not updating my thumbnail at all. That's weird. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out what's going on later. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, so Ironheart and all of the shit going on with Ironheart, she essentially gets kicked out of school because she starts selling her inventions to random fucking people, like students, so they can pass their classes, or to like other people to make money. And they're like, yeah, that's a violation of like our terms, and you knew that. But the thing I was saying about character is the very first thing she does when they tell her that they're going to kick her out of school is she gives this whole impassioned speech about, you know, well, you know, I'm trying and you know, I just don't get the opportunities that I need, and I'm not thriving here, and you know, well, how am I supposed to do well when the exams that I'm getting, I know more than the teachers do. Oh my gosh. Metal Slave for 100. Thank you, Metal Slave, for the $100. Says here, Meiki, for the internet bill. Oh my god, thank you, Metal Slave, for the $100.
That's a huge bitch.
But it's not my. It's not. Thank you for paying for my internet bill. That's wild. But yeah, so essentially she starts selling her stuff, or selling some of her inventions to people. They're like crappy inventions, and she gets kicked out of school for it. So her immediate response after getting kicked out of school is they're like, okay, well, can I get some of my stuff for my class or whatever? They're like, sure. And then the security guards follow her into the lab, and they're talking to her like, why do you have to escort her? They're like, well, we want to make sure that she doesn't take anything that she's not supposed to. And she literally starts fucking, no scary sound alert. Well, I have those off when we're not doing scary streams. I am working on the sound alerts for regular streams though, because I do have those ready. Or working on getting those ready. No, she steals a bunch of shit from the lab, bunch of tools and stuff, and then steals her armor that was paid for by the MIT grant from the lab, and then leaves with it. But yeah, she gives this big impassioned plea. That was the other thing, to her teacher about how she's smarter than the teachers and she's not striving academically. And the teacher just straight up looks at her and says, that's BS. because we custom fit your education to you. We made sure that you were getting everything that you needed and that we were taking care of you. Like, so so immediately the show establishes that she's a danger to the people around her, that she lies and plays the victim even when it's her fault, and then that she's a thief. Darth Bane for 5 says, did you crash again? I'm trying to goon over here and keep getting your notifications. I did crash again, Darth Bane. I'm sorry I'm interrupting your gooning session. So yeah, dude, I don't understand it, bro. Like, hi, Jay. How you doing? My stream keeps crashing, Jay, and I don't know what's going on. Also, Jay, we got to get on the phone soon. Just let me know when you have time, and I'll call you and we'll make it work. Tommy Joy says, hey, Meek, sorry I haven't been on streams that much. My family doesn't want me to be watching controversial content creators, so I want to be in that situation again. Hey, you're all good, Tommy. I appreciate you popping in to say hi, man. Even if that's all you do, listen, bro, I appreciate you, man. Much love. I hope you're doing well. Be blessed, man. For real, for real. And Jay, I hope you're having a good time, man. I hope your dad's doing well. Metal Slave for 10 says, and by the way, if y'all didn't know, Mike is a political contributor. Can't remember which news channel I seen it. And yes, I will interrupt your rant. That's wild. Thank you for the 10, Metal Slave. I am not a political commentator or contributor. I'm not. I have time. All right, I'll get a hold of you. I think it'll probably be tomorrow. But I'll talk with Josiah and stuff and Chaz, and we'll make it work. I'm just letting you know it'll be soon. So yeah, anyways, so like, yeah, she gets kicked out of school, immediately steals her armor and a bunch of other tools and stuff from the MIT, and then flies to Chicago, and then her fucking armor stops working because it's so heavily ingrained with the AI from the school. Because remember, Tony puts the UI into his suit so that he can it can help with certain functions, that way he doesn't have to run everything, keep track of everything. She has it ingrained in her suit and cannot run her suit without it. So as soon as she loses the AI in her suit, she fucking crashes, and crashing into the ground destroys the fucking suit. Like, it's completely fucking creamed. I'm not going to go through every single thing that happens in this show, but like the very beginning just shows a person who is refuses to take responsibility for anything they say, says that they have altruistic motives, but does nothing but reinforce that they're very selfish, very self-focused. And then immediately after she crashes in Chicago, she joins up with a bunch of criminals who rob billionaire pieces of crap. So their justification for why they're criminals is that because they're robbing rich folk. And you would think, oh, this is like a Robin Hood situation. Maybe they're just, helping disenfranchised people. Nope. They're literally only helping themselves. Okay. The team consists of the Hood, who's a comic book character and I don't know much about. He's the leader of the gang. The Hood's brother, who's just a regular dude. They have Eric Andre, plays a tech guy who's like really bad at his job. They have like a cross-dressing black dude, because Hollywood loves to put black dudes in dresses and in girl clothes, who literally at one point in the show, I kid you not, they like tell him to hack something. Well, because it's they thems, of course, tell theys to hack something, and they literally do this with their hand and do this on the keyboard. And that's how they hack shit, because their nails are too long to actually fucking press any keys. And they show on the camera. They don't just show like, oh, hack this thing, and they're like typing or whatever. They literally show the fucking hands on the keyboard doing this. And that's how they fucking hack shit. I'm like, what are we doing, bro? And they also have these two twins. One's a girl that's dressed like a dude. And they're the muscle of the group, and they literally beat the shit out of a bunch of security guards that are just doing their jobs. Like, fuck these security guards up. Like, bad. And that's their action sequences. Every action sequence in this show deals with robbing somebody and beating the shit out of blue-collar security workers who are just fucking doing their jobs. It is insane. Okay? Neil Horn for 10 says, Hail Mink, I was thinking about Raiders of the Lost Ark today. Do you think the Ark would have been more powerful if it had contained an exclusive Switch 2 coin? Maybe may have made the movie better. I think Raiders of the Lost Ark is a perfect film as it is. I think that putting this coin in there would be tantamount to blasphemy, and I would most certainly have my face immediately melted off and my coin destroyed. So, hi, Krista! Bye, Krista. By the time you see this, I will be gone from chat. See you on Mario Kart. Ha! I already saw you! I saw you quickly. I wasn't super behind today, but I will make sure to be on Mario Kart on time, so. They don't kill anybody, but they do fuck these guards up really bad, and at one point, they do shoot a guard. And the thing is, she is completely and utterly an accessory to all of the things that happen. It's never like, yo, don't kill anybody or anything. Because the other thing she does is she creates an AI version of her best friend accidentally because she's trying to create a UI or an AI for her suit. So she uses her own brain as mapping, which everybody tells you should be impossible, should have never happened, that her brain should have been turned to goo for doing this. James Davis, thank you for the subscription. But she somehow magically does it and survives it. And then it creates an AI version of her best friend who her and her father and or her stepdad both died in a random shootout. But it creates a perfect AI version of her best friend who acts like her best friend and not like a disembodied AI. The horror host for 5 says, as a longtime Marvel fan, your description makes look like the painting of Napoleon at Fontainebleau. I wish I understood that. I'm sorry. I'm kind of dumb. But like, yeah, C-Lab 2021, but it's a Marvel writer's room. Yes, that's what it feels like. Like I said, it feels like they grabbed a bunch of Redditors that don't know anything about Marvel and anything about the MCU and just said, yo, write this show with a vague idea of what it's about. And one chick has power armor in it. And they're like, yeah, we can do that. Because there's even a moment, because the show's trying to get you to kind of invest emotionally in these characters. Oh, her best friend died, but you know, her best friend's an AI now, and so she's here, and she's like, you know, you're an AI, this is weird. But then, like, the AI appears to her mom, and her mom's like, that's amazing what you did with this. It's really fucking weird. But, it's a famous painting. I don't know if I've seen it. Is this Coogler's first big misfire? Coogler is an executive producer. That is a very, very, soft way of saying that he had nothing to do with this. Kyle T for 2 says the coin is in the briefcase from Pulp Fiction. He figured it out. That's the thing. Yeah, Ryan Coogler had very little to do with this, other than that Riri was also in Black Panther. But if you watch Black Panther 2, which I wouldn't suggest you do again, but if you do watch Black Panther 2, if you watch the movie, they do not refer to her as Riri for the longest time. She's actually the scientist in the movie. They refer to her as the scientist because I'm pretty sure AI wrote the script for that. I'm still convinced that AI wrote the script for Black Panther 2 and not Ryan Coogler, because the scientist is what they refer to her as for most of the movie. Even when they finally meet her and they identify her as Riri Williams, they keep calling her the scientist, and it's really fucking weird. But anyways, I probably have seen the painting. I just don't know the name of it. But the team of people, after they do the robbery, they do an episode where they're all shooting the money that they get from the robbery all over each other and dancing in the money and shit. And then they do a round table, and normally this round table discussion would be where you get to know the characters and a little bit about who they are and about what they're all about and what their secret motivations are for things like that. No. What they do is they go around and say, what are you going to do with your money when you have all this money and stuff? And they, first of all, they talk about spending it frivolously and blowing all the money as soon as possible. But when the characters do talk about it, the one character that's a dude that dresses like a girl is like, I'm gonna go start me a Michelin star restaurant lounge. And I'm like, that's not how Michelin stars work. You can't just go, I have the money to make a restaurant. It's a Michelin star restaurant. You actually have a good fucking restaurant and earn a Michelin star. But of course, we're gonna ignore all of that. So you could say something that's supposed to, instead of just saying, I want to start a restaurant lounge, or I want to start a restaurant lounge where people can, you know, in my neighborhood, so people have a safe place to come and eat food. None of that. I'm going to start a Michelin star restaurant lounge. The next girl says, I'm going to start like I don't fucking remember. It's like a school or a business for somebody. And it sounds like very altruistic. I'll have to go back and watch again exactly what she says about it. But she says she's going to start this altruistic business, and then immediately says to be a front to launder my money from my black market explosives. And everybody's like, oh, that's so funny. You know, and then the two twins, who one's a girl and one's a girl that dresses like a guy, they're like, what are you going to do with your money? And they're like, we're going to start an underground fight club. And everybody's like, wow, yeah, let's go. Underground Fight Club. That's awesome. Whatever. And then they're like, what about you, Riri? She goes, all the money goes back into the suit. That's what I'm doing. I'm just building my suit out, you know? And if you know anything about this, you know, obviously she's supposed to be carrying the torch for Tony Stark. And she's supposed to be continuing Tony's legacy, but she complains about not having billions of dollars like Tony Stark. At the very beginning of the show, that's part of the reason she can't get ahead in the world. People say, well, that's why she can't upgrade the suit. And Tony was able to upgrade the suit because he has billions of dollars. But once again, she was going to MIT on a grant. She had money to build a working functional suit. And if she built a working functional suit, there would have been help in people to help her. She also had direct connections to Wakanda, the Wakandan government, and didn't bother to ask them for help. There's just a lot of like cope as to why she doesn't have the help she needs. What did I do? Why am I being called a grifter right now? How many Michelin stars? They just say a Michelin star restaurant. That's what's crazy. Like, it doesn't even go into specific detail. But yeah, like, so yeah, they talk about that. The Hood obviously has some kind of pact with some kind of entity, this mysterious evil entity that we never see but we know is around, that whispers to him. And his brother has to put these, like, I think they were like religious tattoos on his body to like help this like weird body infection that he has, like these like terrible CGI veins that are going through his body when he uses the hood, because it has magical properties of some sort. At one point, while he's gone, the leader's gone, one of the girls breaks into this vault that he has to steal the hood so she can walk around with it and talk about it. And she's like, this is weird. This hood is like hot, but like not in a cool way. And her and Riri are like, ooh, we need to analyze this and figure out what it's made from and all this stuff. And it's like, why? There's like literally no reason to do that other than you're trying to bait people into looking at this and thinking that it's some kind of important thing that they don't need to. Blacksmith for 5 says, do you think her Iron Man suit be more powerful if it remained exclusively out of day one limited edition Switch 2 launch coins? I do think that. I think that the properties of these coins could make her suit even more powerful than the nanotech Iron Man suit that we see in Infinity War. I do think that, but of course we don't get that, you know. Opportunity missed here, Nintendo. So like, yeah, it's really bad. And yes, the rumor is that it's Mephisto. For people that don't care about spoilers, most people don't care about spoilers, it's been spoiled that Mephisto is going to appear in this show. They're going to waste Mephisto on fucking Ironheart, of all places to waste him. So yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, Riri like doesn't even like really hesitate to join this troop. They immediately call her and talk to her because she has a suit, and she immediately joins up with them, and they recruit her by having her come to their house, or like their place that they live in, and locking her in an elevator and filling the elevator with like poison gas. And she's just like does some really dumb shit in the elevator to break out of it, and uses mostly brute force to escape the elevator. It's not even like that particularly clever of an escape plan. It's not like, oh, you know, I engineered this thing at the last second. She like throws a coat over the thing making the gas, strips a wire loose to like pop the door open, and then uses a bar to press the door open the rest of the way. And they're like, wow, that's so smart that you got out of there like that. We can't believe it. I guess you're the right person to join our group, because they try to they replace Eric Andre with her later, or her with Eric Andre with her. But that's the other thing too, is like, so she replaces Eric Andre, then later in the show he ends up dead. So like they kill people. They actually do kill people now. Like, dude, it is fucking insane how much weird shit is in this show. Not to mention, she then needs black market tech to fix her suit, which she only has 1 day to fix, or 2 days to fix. Sasha hasn't shown up yet. That's next episode. I've only watched the first 3. The next 3 are where he shows up. But she goes to this guy to steal his black market tech, holds him hostage, forces him to drive her to his secret base so she can get a hold of his tech. And then on the way there tells him he needs to be more assertive and take care of himself because his neighbor is mean to him and all this stuff. She goes, yeah, you need to be more assertive and like take care of yourself and stand up for yourself, except with me, because remember, I'm the person with the like really powerful suit that could like fuck you up if you get out of line or whatever. And then he like plays Alanis Morissette and they sing together in the car. And you're like, bro, you're being held hostage? You're just like, okay with this? And this bitch just told you to stick up for yourself, and your response to that, and then her response to that is like, but not against me right now in this very moment. Like, yeah, dude, it's crazy. Commenting is dangerous. Remember for 3 months says, I can't wait to see Meek battle it out with Alan on Mario Kart tonight. I'm not excited about that, bro. Yeah, also he has no reason to do what she says. She's not in the suit. Exactly. Face-fisted. She's not even in the fucking suit, dude. Like, at all. I don't understand. There's just a lot of like weird logical inconsistencies in this show, and I'm not even trying to nitpick, because like I said, there could have been an idea for an interesting show here, because the short of her and this other character is that after she meets him, she kind of mentions some ideas to him, and he watches her work on fixing her suit. And then he comes to her later and is like, hey, I have all these crazy ideas for these inventions to help people and do things with that. And I loved the concept. The idea would have been really cool if as people watch Tony Stark, that these people are like gadgeteers almost. Like that's their, like Tony Stark's superpower was his mind and his ability to create things. That he inspired a slew of people that almost also had the same curse of knowledge to create. That idea is interesting. And Ironheart happens to be one of these people, and she doesn't know how to stop herself, and she constantly wants to create things and innovate and invent things and blah, blah, blah. She meets this other guy, and she kind of activates his ability. No, he tells her about all this cool shit that he wants to do, and then he has like an arm, and his arm is all fucked up because he experimented on himself with some of his tech, which is very much like Tony. And she goes, yeah, I don't care about any of that. Like, I just need to borrow some of your tech. I'll help you, but I just want to borrow your tech. And he's like, oh, you just want to steal from me again. That's all this is about. Like, everything that Riri does in the show is completely self-focused and self-centered. She has no interest in helping anybody but herself. She has no interest in she even tells the group as soon as she can, she's going to stop all this shady shit and bounce. But it's not even shady, because in episode 3, she tries to steal a piece of the hood so she can analyze the cape that it's made, or the hood that it's made out, or the material the hood is made out of. And she watches him kill a man in cold fucking blood and does nothing to stop it. She stands there and lets it happen just so that she can steal a piece of his cloak. And then later in the episode, the brother of the hood finds out that she stole a piece of it. He attacks her in a lab that's sealed off, and is like the oxygen, it's pumping carbon dioxide into the room that they're in. So they're both suffocating while they're fighting each other. She calls her suit to her. The suit picks her up so now she can breathe. And then she fucking jets off and leaves the guy in the lab by himself to die. She watches 2 people die and does nothing to intervene in it at all. And then when the brother's like, hey, where's my brother? Where's my brother? Where's he at? She's like, I don't know. I don't know. And then he goes, go look for her. And she flies overhead and uses like her scanning technology. And you can see through the building his dead body on the ground. And it shows that his BPMs are 0. And she goes like, oh, sorry, he got stuck in the building and he didn't escape in time. She literally watches 2 people die and does nothing about it. She is utterly and completely devoid of any heroic notion at all, and they try so fucking hard, the people outside of this show, because not in the show. By the way, Wolf Mob member for 1 month says, Rage on Ryan on Mario Kart tonight, piss him off. I'll do my best, I promise. I will absolutely do my best. This show, people outside of the show, not the people on the show, people outside of the show, yelling at me, getting mad at me about calling her a fucking villain, trying to say, well, Tony Stark wasn't perfect either. He is selling weapons. Yeah. And as soon as Tony Stark realized what fucking terrible things he was doing and has a come to Jesus moment, he turns around and changes that shit. I know how the show ends. And I'm telling you right now, it ain't going to get better. And they try to justify it by saying, well, Tony Stark wasn't perfect either, okay? It's called character development and arc. She is responsible, directly responsible for 2 people dying and does nothing to help them. She has been an accessory to not just theft, but attempted murder. She's been like robbery, all of this stuff. It'd be one thing if these were a bunch of altruistic teens stealing from people and going, hey, guess what? But we're not going to hurt people. We're going to do everything we can to use non-lethal methods. We're not trying to shoot people, blah, blah, blah. None of that happens at all. She is completely devoid of any kind of heroics, any kind of morality. She lies to her mother and all of her friends. It's crazy how fucking awful she is, and how there's no, I'm telling you right now, there's no way in 3 episodes they turn this around. In fact, the most heroic character right now on the show that we've seen is the AI of her best friend, who's like, some of the stuff you do is kind of shady. And the other character that she helps, who is actually Ezekiel Stane, Obadiah Stane's son, that they just randomly throw in there. Yeah, my dad, he's dead. I didn't know him very well. He died in a plane crash. Or she's like, oh, he died in a plane crash. He goes, no, he didn't die in a plane crash. That was a lie. I don't know how he found that out, considering it wasn't common knowledge to anybody, because that was a SHIELD cover-up. But yeah, it's awful. I cannot believe how bad this show is. And like, it's crazy. Stark sold legal products to willing customers. He did. And then he said, when I saw what I was reaping from all of my inventions, when I saw how horrific it was and how bad it was, he had a change of heart and immediately dedicated his entire life to changing things and saving the world. His whole life, literally gave his life to save people. I'm telling you, as she stands right now, Riri Williams would not go out of her way to save a single person's life unless it was it directly tied to her interests. The show is a show full of villains that all are justified in why they do what they do, because they're not billionaires, because they don't have a lot of money, and because they're minorities. That's it. Because of the boxes they check, they're completely justified in everything that they do. Not to mention that the Hood has an ulterior motive that he doesn't tell anybody about, where he makes these billionaires sign contracts to give his troop all of this money, which doesn't make any sense, because they're like, hey, we hacked your tech, and if you want your tech to work correctly, then you have to sign this contract and do all this shit with me. If I was a fucking billionaire, I'd say, listen, change the code, lock these fuckers out, and they're going to say that I signed some contract and gave them all this money. I was under duress when I signed it. It has no legal, it means nothing legally. And you're right, Fifth Down Sports, he did not sell willingly to terrorist groups. You're right. But the point was, he did sell weapons to people and then realized that what his weapons were doing, and when they were being, the people that they're in the hands of, were causing problems. That was what I mean by when he has that. Because he's like, hey, guys, this is crazy. But yeah, dude, it's fucking wild how bad this is. And when we talked about this on my other stream, that these writers think that to make a hero, they have to be completely perfect in everything that they do. Not that what their actions have to be perfect, but they have to be perfect. That they cannot have no conviction over what they do, and that they have to be justified through their victimhood on what they do and why they do the things that they do. Whereas the villains are just bad people because of what they have and what they own. Very, very rarely what they actually do. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, Ironheart's terrible. This will be the last super chat I read, then I gotta get going because I do gotta get on Mario Kart. Lexicon Hellhound for 10 says, Ree's starting point is straight evil criminal. Starks was in questionable morality, not the same. Absolutely. Plus, at least he built his wealth, not stole it, not the same. 100%. There is no reason why she doesn't have money. and why she hasn't invented things to help people at all, other than she just wants to build a suit to feel iconic and special. Mad Frog for 109 says morality is relative to the woke freaks. It's a mess, bro. Not only that, this is the last little tidbit I'll leave you with, because somebody asked her why she built the suit and give them the real reason. Well, my stepdad, who I loved a lot, which I'm not knocking that, he loved her, he helped her learn how to be a mechanic and work on cars and shit. He was the real fan of Tony Stark, not her. He was the fan of Tony Stark. He idolized him, and she wanted to live up to that same idolization, basically. She wanted that same level of love and respect and wanted to make a difference because her dad idolized Tony Stark. That's why she built the suit. That's why she reverse engineered Tony Stark's suit and built one. It's not even out of her own motivation of, I realized that if I had the mechanical knowledge, or I started to understand things and I couldn't help myself, and I built this suit and I realized I don't know what the implications of it all are, which is fine. If you don't know what you're doing and you just did something without the thought of why, because you're a teenage kid and you made something, that's fine. But to be motivated by, I wanted to be iconic and feel, you know, that same kind of love and be able to do that. And then your justification for it is, well, I can help people with this tech. Well, no, the suit's built for you. You're not building suits for everyone else. You're building a suit for you. And you can say that down the line, you'll do something else for somebody else. But right now, you have shown no indication that you will help other people. It's crazy, dude. It's a complete fucking mess of a show. All right, guys, I gotta bounce. I gotta get over to Mario Kart, but I appreciate the hell out of you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll do another stream on Friday in the evening. It'll be more Silent Hill 2. Should be a really good time. I'm also going to be seeing F1 on Friday, so I'll be able to talk about that on the stream as well. But yeah, guys, go check us out over on Mario Kart. We're gonna raid Mario Kart from this stream at the end here. So yeah, guys, I appreciate you. Go check out G&G Plays Mario Kart, and I'll talk to you guys all soon. Later. Oh, by the way, thank you for the super chats, everybody. Metal Slate, thank you for the 100. Thank you for the gifted memberships earlier, because this stream kept crashing. I know, kind of a fucking mess. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Thank you for the recommitments, and thank you for your time. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us. So yeah, guys, go check out Geeks and Gamers Play. We'll be rating that after this. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.